You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The whole crew is in the building. My man Jay Moore is very patriotic today. How are you, sir?
I don't know if that's, well, I guess so.
It's got a flag on it, brother. It's got a flag on it.
I'm just trying to, stay polo.
You love America?
Stay polo fresh today.
Okay.
I was in that kind of mood.
Okay, I ain't mad at you.
Had to break out a vintage. Well, it's not so much a vintage piece, but from 2016.
I ain't going to count your pockets because that's what I normally do.
That's not even that. We ain't going to do that. I get it how I get it.
I feel you. My man Lonegevity rocking multiple New Old Head merch pieces. I see you. How are you, sir?
Doing all right, man. I like those guys.
Yeah?
They're all right.
White t-shirt, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Any meaning or?
I mean, it would only make sense. It would only make sense once you see the rest of everything, Michael.
We'll put it together one day for y'all. Y'all, one day it'll all make sense. How about that?
I got to represent for the whites.
As you should, as always. Everything good your way, my brother?
Yeah, good as it can be.
Yeah. I know life be life, and I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm here, DJ Jay Diff. Howdy, man.
What's going on? Salutations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you threw me off earlier with the salutations talk.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So I'd already heard it once or twice.
Yeah,
so
I feel you.
But yeah, salutations, man. What's up?
I mean, I can't call it, brother. Everything good your way?
Everything's good, man. Everything's hope-aesthetic.
So good old Eminem, Mr. Marshall Mathers, he's getting a little backlash for his Megan Thee Stallion bar. I don't know what you guys felt about the bar, if it's good or not. But Black Twitter and Twitter just in general, yes, I said Black Twitter, he was pretty much getting cooked for his Megan Thee Stallion bar, which I have an opinion on, but we always toss things around the table.
Can I ask you, why was he getting cooked? Because
Eminem should not be able to mention Megan Thee Stallion in any negative way because she's black and he's white. Is what I saw. Thank you.
Well, also he's in a way making light of the fact that she got shot.
Yes, in that part.
That's the only thing I have a problem with.
Twofold. So, floor is yours, man. What you think, Jay? Or do you want to read the bar? We know the bar, but
I mean, if you'd like to go ahead and read the bar, you can read the bar.
So,
and then I'll react.
If I was to ask for Meg Thee Stallion, if she would collab with me, would I really have a shot at a feat? Obviously,
short for feature.
Like, yeah.
Thank you.
I'll just be honest. I just thought it was one of those bars. It was like, even with Eminem, you're better than this. If you're gonna go for it, go for it. Just like when you said you out here hitting trees like Sonny Bono, go for it. Like don't try to move in this little kind of mealy ass way that ain't.
Do it expeditiously.
Do your thing, Eminem. If you're going to try to do something that's somewhat hurtful to someone's fan base and their family, go ahead and do what you've done your entire career. Don't try to be like, feature. No, man. My problem is the bar was weak. I just didn't think much of that, because knowing what he can do, and for whatever we have to say about Eminem, like I said, he's been able to do much better than this, and I have a problem with that. Like, as far as people saying he shouldn't go after Meg because she was shot or whatever. Sorry, man, this is hip hop. I understand, but were you that upset when he said something about Sonny Bono? So if you're not going to be mad for everybody, don't be mad for anybody.
Was you mad at Kim when she was going to get thrown in a lake and
basically he's made multiple songs about killing his baby's mother, unaliving. I'm sorry, but it's like. Don't come out and be, super crusader for women when this is how he's talked about, women in a much more explicit and violent way during his entire career. And once again, Meg Thee Stallion is, at least she's a public figure as opposed to his mom and, his child's mother, who are just like, hey, could you chill with that?
I think it's kind of par for the course for Eminem.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I agree with you. It was kind of a weak bar, but like you stated earlier, as far as Eminem and this particular style of rap that he's doing, it's a lot tamer than what it was back then. And it also goes to do with, I might as well say, censorship. because a lot of people are offended easily over the minuscule or the smallest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So him saying that is just him. I'm Eminem, and I'm gonna take a shot at whoever is popular right now, which is Megan Thee Stallion. I don't think it has anything to do with it being a black woman. That's the part that I can't stand. Every time somebody says something about any and everything, it doesn't always come down to, oh, this is a black woman or this is a black man that he's saying this to, because if he said it to somebody else of a different race, you're not inserting said color into it before you say it. You're just saying he said this about this person.
Shout out to Pat McAfee. No, it's
hey, well, he's a kicker, so he might be featured as well. But anyway,
I see you.
Now that was a bar.
Now that was a bar.
Hey,
that was a bar.
Thank you. I rap from time to time, but nah, I think it was just a weak bar, man. It's not as deep as people are trying to dig this hole. Yeah, and if you think that you're going to cancel Eminem, it's kind of going toward the play of this whole song, like we just talked about, is he's speaking on cancel culture. Right. So he's going to take little jabs here and there, and he's not the first person that did it, and he did it in a playful way. Yeah. And Meg probably ain't going to say nothing. If she do, it's probably not a good move, because Mad Eminem is not somebody that you want to kind of go up against.
Leave that man alone.
Yeah, leave him alone when it comes to rapping. But if you're in the game, if you're in the rap game, like you said, no holds barred at the end of the day. I mean, we just listened to a rap battle where people were going at each other's kids, families,
everybody,
sexual orientations, or lack thereof. I don't know.
Blackness.
Yeah. So we was a whole bunch of things that technically shouldn't be talked about that we were so entertained.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden now we want to be like, you shouldn't shut.
I just don't.
You're talking about a black woman's feet, man. Nah, man, this ain't that, man. Right. Everything cannot be that. It just ain't it.
It's
what you got, Mo?
I don't even think the bar was necessarily weak. I think the bar fit for the type of song that he made, because the whole song is goofy like that.
Playful.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you on that.
It's playful, goofy. Mm-hmm. It's their kind of metaphors. It's or similes. You know, it's kind of deep, but not really. It's presentable for the type of fan base that's going to enjoy that type of Eminem. It's not like super crazy or anything like that. It's whatever.
It landed.
But the bar in itself is like, it's such low-hanging fruit to try to get upset over of all things. It's like anybody can really get it, and there's no inherent power dynamic going on here between Eminem and Megan Thee Stallion in this particular scenario to make it about like a white man and a black woman in this particular way. It just feels like
that's really what this was about. I needed a reason to bring this up.
Yeah, because he said black guy P. Nobody's mad at that.
Ain't nobody said word.
Yeah, he made it basically an R. Kelly joke.
He said black.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm cool I'm cool on being offended on stuff I shouldn't be offended about.
Yeah, same. There's plenty of stuff to be legitimately offended over that
actually mad about in real life
every single day, and this is not one of those things. So, and it goes to, I think you guys mentioned it, this goes to like his entire point of the song in the first place.
Yeah.
Which I think was tame in comparison to stuff that he's done in the past, but you know, like,
I mean, he talked about Elton John and then had Elton John come and play the piano for him at the awards.
Facts.
Yeah.
But
good point.
But I don't know. I just listened to the overall record and I wonder, does Eminem feel like his fan base hasn't grown up? And so like he can still do stuff like that at the big age of 54. He's still making records like this, or is he trying to introduce himself into a whole new goofy level of white quote unquote rap fan?
Maybe, man, but I don't.
And then I guess that in itself could be the potential argument that you can make that Eminem saying this about a black woman is in essence sharing to all of his major fan base, which is white fan base, that it's okay to make fun of a black woman like that. But that's
bro, you know how far you just went.
I know.
But that's how far they would go.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the only angle that you could have here in that angle. And to an extent, I get it, kind of. But like, I don't know. It just seems like
that's such a long way, man.
It seems like such low hanging fruit. Like there are legitimate things to be upset at. Like this is not one of them, in my opinion. So, but again, I'm a white man, so. defending a white man talking about a black woman.
Put a white T-shirt on.
Oh man, it's so many layers, so many layers.
Oh man,
Man.
Fifth level stats.
Yeah.
Nah, man,
I ain't going, man.
I'm not going on this one. I'm not going on this one. And there'll be a goofy in the comments saying that
Somebody's
I'm
gonna be
supposed to
mad.
stand up for Meg and all this other stupid shit.
Dare you let that white man talk?
Like and subscribe because I'm not going on this one.
No, I mean, but
I rock with Meg, but I ain't going on this one.
I you know, like I said, I just think that it is. First of all, you should almost. He raps about everybody. If you're not going to be mad at the other things that he said, not going to be mad about the R. Kelly reference, not going to be mad about when he rhymes about how other celebrities have not only been hurt but died.
True.
Like that's his shtick, and now you want to be mad.
That is.
I'm sorry,
math-
man.
math ain't
I'm
math,
sorry,
bro.
It's just not,
It's
you
not
know.
math.
And once again, this we talk about this song, what he's talking about, the different eras that he comes from, because there wasn't a social media around when he said what he said about, you know, Sonny Bono hitting a tree and dying.
That was a clever bar.
Yeah, and you know, at the time we was like, oh snap, you know, but you know, now it's like
I always thought that bar was about smoking weed.
that it was a double entendre.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, but now people gonna look up Sonny Bono and be like, oh wow, maybe we should be mad
Hitting the
about
trees
that.
hotter than Sonny Bono. Oh no!
But yeah. So that's just.
It wasn't the name of that song. I just don't give a. Was that the?
Was that the name of the
I
record?
don't know if that was on.
It's
that
been.
one.
I'm not. Don't give me the
I
line.
think-
So the hidden trees on like Sonny Bono. I believe that was on.
I gotta
the
look this up while you talk.
Eminem show. Or no,
Was
on
it
Marshall Mathers.
Marshall
LP.
Mathers?
LP,
Yeah. I mean, he literally talked about everybody that was a pop star that were popping at the same time that he was.
It was talking about.
Openly.
He talked about Will Smith.
That was role model.
He was talking about
Role model.
Okay.
Off.
He was talking about unaliving them,
Yes.
unaliving people who he would see at award shows.
Yeah. He talked about Will Smith. He talked about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson got his revenge. He got his lick back.
He got his leg back.
Boy,
He
did
did.
he.
He did
He
get his
talked
lick
about Mariah Carey. He talked about
This.
Britney Spears. He talked about NSYNC. He talked about the Backstreet Boys.
Just these lines.
talked about Ja Rule.
Just these lines right here off of Role Model. Off that, you know, what album was that? It was what's that album
I think
called?
that's
Role Model was
Marshall
on
Mathers?
Slim Shady.
Slim Shady.
Slim Shady, right?
Okay.
I'm cancerous. Right?
Yes.
So when I dish, you wouldn't want to answer this if you responded back with a battle rap you wrote for cannabis. That is clever.
Yeah, it is.
I'll strangle you to death and choke you again and break your legs until your bones poke through your skin. You beef with me, I'ma even the score equally, take you on Jerry Springer and beat your ass legally. I get too blunted off the funny homegrown because when I smoke out, I hit the trees harder than Sonny Bono.
Oh no!
Oh no.
So I can stop there, but like that's
Yeah.
like
That's who we're dealing with,
That's
y'all.
who he is. Like that's
you
he's
just showed
always
up.
been this person.
Like some of you who are outraged, clearly you just showed up to the Eminem show.
Literally.
Hey, man.
Well played.
he goes. So if I said I never did drugs, that would mean I lie and get effed more than the president does.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton tried to slap me and call me a pervert. I ripped her tonsils out and fed her sherbet.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
Yeah, he ain't new to this. He true to
The
it.
president,
definitely ain't new to
the
this.
president and the first lady got it. I'm sorry, Meg,
Come
but
on,
you.
man.
Why did you think you get any special protection? Like I said,
and I don't. Did she even comment on this?
I don't.
I can't
think
even
it's on
remember,
tour.
I doubt it. It's just
Getting it right now.
I think it's just the people.
She's be smart not to even acknowledge this.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm gonna say it again. Leave that man
Leave
alone.
him alone. He dissed George Bush.
Now, here's what I would
It's just
say.
every president.
Yeah.
Here's what I
Except
say.
maybe Obama.
If Slim Shady was coming back at that level, I would be interested.
Oh, he'd have your attention then? 100%.
Because then he's actually rapping and he's not holding back.
Yeah.
Like
He was pissing everybody off back
like
then.
He
like
was.
it's like this song that the Houdini song, it just seems PG.
No, he's just
And you know,
it's
he's
light
just
jabs.
like, you
Yeah,
know.
just poking.
Now, granted, I don't know if you can do stuff like that nowadays. It'd be a very interesting social experiment to see if
Somebody
Eminem,
would come out talking like that
if
now,
Eminem could come out with his as big as he is. and-
wouldn't make it.
I don't know.
Now we've
He
talked
let
about
let a lot of F bombs fly.
we've
Well,
talked
you know
about
what I'm
him
saying?
quote
It
unquote being
probably-
invincible. I don't know, Lone. I don't know in 2024.
I feel like obviously he's not going to let the F bombs go. He's
Right.
obviously not going to make a song
yeah, he's
about
gonna- he's gonna chill with
about
the
his
community.
ex black girlfriend, you know,
Right.
and stuff. He's not going to do that stuff,
Right.
you know. But I think if he was, I don't know. I would be it's from a social experiment. I would be very interested.
that version, if you pop that version into 2024, I don't see it without some type of amendment or a slight adjustment. I can't see it as is. Nah, I don't see it, bro.
If anybody could do it, though, it would be Eminem.
Well, he'd had the best shot, but I don't think I see it, bro, because there's too much editing necessary in order for it to be.
Is there though?
We've got to ask
a lot of
Benzino
editing,
what
bro.
he thinks about this. We got to ask Benzino what he thinks about this.
Who cares what Benzino thinks at a time like
He's
this?
probably somewhere mad right now.
Benzino's daughter doesn't even care.
She know.
Oh wow.
Don't.
That's messed up.
Those are the type of Eminem bars we need.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Give us some of those.
I think.
But I ain't mad at you for taking a shot at Meg. Damn, I said taking a shot at Meg.
Yo, now you're canceled.
You really got bars tonight. That's
sorry.
your second
These are
bar
accidental bars, man.
We're dropping an album next week.
Hey, man.
Star Trap, man.
Star Trap.
Hey, accidental bars.
Yo, that's two in a row, man.
I'm sorry.
Those are elite level bars,
I
brother.
don't have any kind of disdain for Meg Thee Stallion.
No, we rock with Meg. It's just
Look, if it weren't for
Twitter
Meg, we
jumping out
wouldn't
the
have been up for an NAACP
Nah,
Image
for
Award.
real.
Talk to
Hey,
him.
we appreciate you for that.
We definitely were
Straight up.
nominated. I don't care what nobody says.
I'm not even gonna lie, man. If we'd have won, I'd have
would've been acting.
That would be
I'd
in my
show my
profile.
ass.
Be in my profile.
Yeah, I'd have showed my ass.
Lone's profile saying NAACP award winner. You know how many people would be mad if you had that?
You know
in your
No, they
profile?
wouldn't, because if you look at the board of the NAACP,
Okay.
then it's
Look who
kind
founded
of
the NAACP. You can. There's
Yeah,
layers to this, man.
Okay.
there's a lot of layers to
Maybe
it.
I can
There's a lot of
correct-
white people in NAACP Image Awards.
Yeah, you got to kind of do the research and the history of it.
That's fair. That's
Maybe
fair.
maybe I'll change my profile instead for my name just be NAACP nominated.
Yeah, I'd love that. I
don't see why not.
Because it's
I mean,
legit.
yeah, it is.
It's
legit.
real.
That's hilarious.
I just want that plaque. Even just a nomination plaque. We can just.
No, I want.
Ain't no nomination plaque, man. That's
I just
a
want one.
participation trophy.
Sure is.
I'll be like, well, give me the one. Queen Latifah don't need no more awards. Give me
Yeah.
hers.
Yeah, look, can we have hers?
Nah, man.
Shout out to the queen, though. I ain't gonna, we ain't gonna be disrespectful.
All right.
All right, man. But yeah, they just being a little extra on that one. I think we are in agreement on
Yeah,
that. We
you know,
just
but-
we just aren't in agreement on the. I think me
Yeah,
and
but
Lone
you know,
are.
Black Twitter's going to come for us, and
Oh, of course.
yeah. But thank you for the views when you do.
Me and Lone had a better appreciation for the actual bar, though. Y'all said it was trash. I ain't gonna say
no, the bar
trash.
was-
I mean, it was playful. It was funny, but it was
fit the
not.
song. It fit the song. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with your logic on that.
It just fit the song.
Yeah,
Like
it fits.
It's just like when you make beats sometimes, like the beat doesn't have to be the most aggressive beat battle beat ever. It just has to fit what the artist are doing.
I feel you.
And I feel like that's what he did when he was writing
I
that,
think he
so.
wasn't. This wasn't the rap fantastic Eminem when he came with that verse. He's like, this is just something I'm gonna just say.
lighthearted.
He knows it's gonna get some people to raise their eyes, and it did, and it actually made more people go listen to the song. Hence the numbers.
Yep.
So there we have it.
Off the charts.
Bong.
Shout out to the homies. Well, they're not the homies, but they're legends.
You like to call everybody.
I
the
do,
homies.
man. I feel like I grew up
Can't
with
call
them,
none of
man.
these people.
Yeah.
Because they don't even know us, do they? They don't know nothing about us, do they?
Not at all, man.
I feel like I grew
None
up
of these
with them,
people
man.
care about
They don't
what we-
care about us at all.
Yeah,
They
especially
don't.
because we've probably talked about them bad at some time
Bruh,
over the last
I thought about this so much.
392
Bro, but when
episodes.
when you grow up on, it's like I feel like I know, like I grew up on Meth and Red, so it's like that's the homies, but they don't care about the new old heads.
They
That's all
can
I
care
do.
less, Jack.
No. This is
Sorry,
this
man.
is the breaks of having a show where we just say the honest feelings that we have.
yeah, we wind up not having any homies.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, Meth
No
and
friends
Red,
of the show.
So Meth and Red were in the news. Well, actually, Meth was, and this was in relation to their performance at
Summer Jam.
Yeah, Summer Jam. And Meth basically was saying, and I'm going to read his quote, but he was a little upset with the crowd participation or lack thereof.
Did you see the video?
I did not. Is there a? I just read the article. I did not see the video,
I can see if there is as you talk, but
but I see where he's go. Oh, I see it now. Okay, good looking out. Meth was a little upset with the lack of participation with the crowd or whatever. And he says, the quote says, not our crowd at all. He said, thanks again, New York and the whole tri-state that showed up to the event, plus Pete and Ebro. I got love for you guys, but never again. At this point, the generation gap is just too wide for me. Never coming back was his hashtag.
yeah.
So here's my thing, right? I feel like you have to do a crowd assessment for the places that you're performing at, because Meth and Red being at Summer Jam in 2024 is not going to hit like it did if it was 20 years ago.
But
So
it's
you-
the 50 years of hip hop.
It's the 50 years of hip hop. I feel you, but my thing is maybe there's a different crowd. The Roots Picnic. perhaps that crowd may be different. Maybe not. I'm just throwing it out there
You
as
have
a
a point.
comparison.
No,
You have a
they
point.
didn't
But you're
perform
talking
at the
about a
Roots
radio.
Picnic, yeah.
You're talking about a radio station.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, people that are listening to the radio station are younger individuals. We're not going to those concerts.
That's what I'm saying,
We're
bro.
going to the Roots Picnic, to your point. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I'm looking out at that crowd. I'm like, a lot of these people in this crowd are probably in their 20s. Right? It's the radio promo. Like, Summer Jam has always been the younger crowd just going to watch artists and be lit. So part of me wants to think you got to do a better assessment of the crowd, bro. It's not necessarily, I know you feel that way, but even their performance, somebody made a good point in one of the comments I saw. Maybe if y'all change y'all show.
No.
I don't think that matters.
No.
To me, that
No.
doesn't matter at all.
No.
I don't think that matters at all.
There's
Like,
no reason to
what do you want
compromise what they already got going on.
thank you.
What do you want them to do? Go out and lip sync? Like, I mean,
Exactly. So that's not. I didn't agree with that part. But what do y'all think about what Meth with his comment and the hashtag?
I say kudos to him.
Okay.
I think that's just awareness and knowing. Like, they probably got off stage and they're like, "Ooh, that wasn't it."
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with them, because watching the video, it seemed like they were doing. I don't know if you guys. I know you guys have been to a Red Meth show.
I've been to plenty of them.
And
They do a
I've
great
seen-
job.
I've seen them here in Indianapolis, and it was an amazing show.
Yeah.
So
They know how to perform.
I think exactly what he said was. I think he said it the perfect way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just.
And it wasn't
wasn't
about hate.
disrespectful.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about, hey man, whatever this crowd is, I've aged out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
not-
awareness.
and the thing is, like I said, I saw footage of them performing. I don't know if that was the Roots Picnic or wherever, the same weekend, and the crowd was going wild. And it's not even, look, if you are coming to a radio station sponsored concert, you got to understand, Hot 97 probably hasn't played a Red Meth song in any of its day parts in years.
Right.
Nah.
Okay. And so, you're talking to a bunch of people, 21 and 29, who probably went to the show. They've been drinking Casamigos and taking pills all day. And so they're not there to see Red. They're not there for the nostalgia of what happened in 2005 or whatever.
Not at all.
So you got to understand, like, I'm not mad at him for saying, yo, I'm not even supposed to be here.
Right.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
But never
the,
again.
The kids who come here, and they're high and drunk, they are waiting for Sexy Red to hit the stage.
True.
Okay. Now, the thing is about Red Meth, they're generational talent at this point. They can go to another place where they'd be appreciated and do that exact same set.
Yep.
And people will be screaming and throwing their hands up and chanting along right with them.
They're
Because
amazing performers.
because
agree.
they've done it for so long. Like, you understand this, the people who are coming to Hot 97 Summer Jam, they're not even used to a good performance.
Yeah.
A good performance doesn't even move them. It doesn't
Man,
make
that's a
sense.
great point.
It doesn't make sense that, wait a minute, their microphones are on. There's no TV track. They're actually,
They're trying to entertain us.
yeah, it's not just them and 100 of their friends staying on stage lip syncing.
They're finishing each other's sentences. What's going on here?
It's just not a bunch of glass breaking and bombs being dropped, so they only have to do one verse of the song.
This is
Like, songs are longer than 30 seconds.
Exactly.
true.
So you got to understand, just with the attention span, if they go back and forth through 2 or 3 verses, this just comes off as boring to somebody who's 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would much rather see Moneybag Yo.
100%.
And Moneybag Yo is he's a popular artist, but he's nowhere near the stature of a Redman and Method Man. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I didn't even see who else was. The only other I saw that Sexy Red, and I guarantee her performance went over.
Oh yeah, it
huge.
went nuts.
Doja Cat.
All she got to do is
Doja Cat
get it
friend.
sexy.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm serious.
but
You're
the
right,
thing
though.
is,
You're right.
But the thing is, Sexy Red has songs that are also playing on Hot 97 in
Exactly.
heavy rotation.
Right.
And it's not what if you are not already ready a Method Red fan, it's not like anything that happens on Hot 97 is going to make you that.
No, because they're not still playing that music like you said.
It might be an old school lunch or something like that, or something on the weekend or late in the night. But during the day parts, which is, for those of you not from radio, it's morning drive, midday, afternoon drive, nighttime. Those are the big money day parts. They're not playing any of those records.
No, they ain't playing none of that. But I will say this though. Last time I seen Meth and Red was when Dave Chappelle came in town, and they were where he showed his documentary that he made,
Mm-hmm.
and they closed out the show. Now, they didn't get the response from the audience that I think they should have received at. I think that was it still Conseco then, or was it Game Breeze? I don't know.
The Pacers Stadium.
Where the Pacers play,
Yeah.
is where this concert.
Probably
where-
Gamebridge.
Yeah, it probably was Game Breeze then. But anyway, I don't think they got the respect or kudos that they should have got when they performed there. And this was 2 years ago to people mostly our age. And again, it's people seeing Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
They're not there to see Method Man and Redman. But I kind of feel like a Dave Chappelle fan and a Redman and Method Man kind of go hand in hand.
I would
But
agree.
there was a lot of people that were just sitting in their seats like they didn't care that Meth and Red was on stage.
But I think
So it's kind of like it depends on not even necessarily the age. It kind of depends on where people are in their life or if they actually really rocked with them like that back then. Because if they go on a tour by themselves or with somebody else like a similar artist, it's going to be packed. Everybody's going to be jumping up and down and hype for them. But this particular stage is just too young. Like you said, it's too young for them.
I'm looking at the list right now for the performers, and it makes perfect sense. Doja Cat and Friends, Sexy Red, Prince Montana, Fabio Foreign, and some people that I probably should know but don't. Ty Dolla $ign and Friends, and then they have a Celebrating the Life of Mr. C. That's where you see Kane, Kiss, EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim, Meth and Red.
they probably
Lord
Lord
Tariq
Tariq
and
and
Peter
Peter
Gunz.
Gunz.
Well, no, because it's wild. Because I saw Peter Gunz talking about, oh, we never age out of this. We still did. I was like,
Man, you aged out of it in
my man,
90s.
a lot of people.
What year, Terry?
Man, as soon as that track came out down there.
I mean, and shout out to Peter Gunz, and he has to say more of the right thing because he wants to be invited back to stuff. A lot of those kids or I call them kids, and it is what it is. They're kids. You know, people who are younger than me at this point. You know,
Yeah.
I'm 47. I wouldn't go to nobody's summer jam, not now.
I don't even know who most of these artists are on.
That's
this
what I'm
lineup.
saying.
But you know, it's
makes
like
sense.
Peter Gunz is like, look, dude, I get it, but like you are of a different. You have a song. You did some other little
Damn,
joints.
you gonna play them like that,
They
man?
do have one song.
It's Uptown,
and
baby.
the thing
And
is,
they ain't even get paid from it like they
and
should
the thing
have.
is,
Sample.
I love if Peter Gunz, if you're listening, I love the song "We Will Ball." I thought that was going to set y'all off for a second single, and it didn't do nothing. That's messed up. And I liked what you did on the Soul Survivor album with Lord Tariq.
Good call.
That was dope.
Good
Hell,
call.
I like the fact that they threw you, onto a situation where you on the Tatiana MLE album where she sampled Black Cow and got it cleared, and they threw y'all on it.
Yeah.
So you had a look, but a lot of people in that audience.
That song didn't do as good as theirs though.
Yeah,
No.
but a lot of
Unfortunately.
people don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know it. Yeah.
But a lot of people know you as a reality star.
Yeah.
They know you from Love and Hip Hop New York,
I
and
know
you
you
weren't,
as a baby daddy.
you weren't doing a lot of hip hop. Wasn't a lot of love there, how you was treating them women, but it's all good.
And then being a new host of Cheaters.
Yeah, the host of Cheaters.
Yes.
We know Meth and Red from being worldwide hip hop stars that have been able to travel and move around
Since the 90s.
since the 90s.
You're
off
still
their
seeing
catalog.
them. You're still
And
seeing them. I mean,
Max.
Method Man is actually one of the main characters on Power. He's the attorney, and that's what's funny because a lot of these kids at this show, when they seen him on that stage, they was like, "Oh, that's a dude from Power." We didn't know he rapped. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Sometimes, but even more so,
that's why
like,
they raised him.
as somebody that's been on stage and performed in a whole bunch of different environments, sometimes you get on stage and you just realize just from the beginning, like, oh, well,
This ain't it.
it's going to be one of those.
It's gonna be one of them
Yeah,
nights.
It's gonna be one of those.
And there's nothing you can do except do your thing, which is what they did. And then
I understand showing love to Mr. C. I get that part. I understand that part.
I mean, he was still employed by Hot 97,
Exactly. So with that makes perfect sense. Legend.
but
right?
he was playing the new stuff.
Yes. And when I see this section of the list, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But to that crowd,
yeah, and this is all one stage, right? This
Yeah,
isn't like
from what I know.
multiple- It's
From
not
what
like
I
a
know.
fest or anything.
Don't be the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen.
man,
That was many moons ago.
Manny.
Yeah, that was more than 20 years ago. At
Yeah,
this point.
Jay-Z might have been. He probably was in his late 20s then.
That was right before. Yeah, that was right before Blueprint. Yeah, so we talk about more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there've been places that Metronome and I have been where it was like, all right, it's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
But we know where it's never gonna be one of those nights is when.
Come on now.
we
Come
at
on
home.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
it
I
goes
don't.
back to the point. You can still do the things to your, for your people.
The home games feel different. The home games.
Hell,
feel
I've probably been to at least 4 shows that involve Method Man, 4 or 5 even,
Mhm.
and every single one of them was lit,
Methods.
except for the Dave Chappelle show. But it wasn't a concert there.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can even see like sometimes we underestimate, how big Dave Chappelle is.
Yeah.
To where his audience is such in a mainstream place that they wouldn't know.
Exactly. It's
Because
very
it's
diverse.
This is not because it's not the same block party Dave Chappelle.
No, it's not block
You know what
party.
I'm
It's not
saying?
even Dave Chappelle, the Chappelle Show Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Dave Chappelle crossed over long time ago.
True.
So even though the Chappelle Show featured up and coming hip hop acts and introduced people to certain artists they hadn't heard of, they didn't keep following those artists. They kept following Dave.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
And he's
as
a
Dave star continued to ascend, whatever he went through, those same people that followed him aren't necessarily into the same type of music. So
And the crazy thing is like now that, you know, the Chappelle Show, the first 2 seasons are available for us. All of the musical performances didn't transfer over just because of licensing issues.
right.
I feel you, man. You know, it's all good. Y'all still
Come to
legends.
Nap, though. I'm gonna come check you out, man.
For sure. We in
You
there.
got family here too.
Yeah, we in that thing.
He actually
So-
went to tech for a minute.
That's
Did he really?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yep.
Lone, can we shout out our partners real quick, brother?
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
Ninth Wonder made an interesting comparison to Eminem and Caitlin Clark.
Be one of them episodes, huh?
Hey, when I read it, I was like, this is about to be a heavy, might be a heavy M show.
See, that's the thing about M. When M drops
when he
something,
do something,
it impacts the culture. I will say that.
I mean,
Can't take that away from him.
the boy legendary status.
Yeah.
I think it was from his Facebook page where he drew the comparison.
Yeah.
Or we can talk about Pete Rock and Gip talking about or supporting
my
fake
God,
news.
man.
That was a joke though.
Oh man,
We ain't got to talk about that. at all.
Great.
No.
hit Terry up immediately when I saw that, man, or vice
Man,
versa.
people fall for the banana in the tailpipe way too often to have the influence that they have.
Yeah. And also, like, some of y'all got to stop liking these pictures of these AI women.
Oh, they love them.
Like, first of all, you got to understand them. It's too shiny. It's not real.
Hey, they be on their post typing "I want you" and
Yeah,
they be
exactly.
spelling it WON.
Stop that, man.
I want you.
Y'all are out here thirsting over computer generated images, and I want you to do better.
Okay, first of
Look
all,
for the red dots.
that's ignorant. The shiny comment is ignorant. 2, the want is super.
They be wishing these AI women good morning. Stop
Yeah,
that.
straight up.
Stop that, guys.
I want
In
you.
a public comment section.
And yeah. I want you to do better. You looking
Yo.
crazy out here.
I want you.
I want you.
I want you to do
How
better.
Stupid is that? Stupid is that? All right, man. So this was
You know I want you.
I like.
Oh, you won't? Nah, I want you. Man, it says you won't.
now
That's what I said. Imagine arguing with the ignorance.
No, man, I ain't got no patience for that. But this looks like the comment I was referring to from Ninth Wonder was from his page. It looks like it is that an IG loan or is that
That's from his Facebook.
his Facebook? Okay, government or whatever on there.
Yeah.
He's kind of drawing a comparison to between Caitlin Clark and how she is being received in the WNBA, which she's everywhere. Everybody's talking about her. To when Eminem came out initially, in the initial response to him in terms of, well, he's getting the sales and just let him get the bag and it's opening it up for hip hop. So kind of drawing the comparison to those two.
Yeah, I can read it if you want.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and pull that up, Lone, and then we can discuss.
So he says, it's funny to see all this talk. Now, this is, again, to your point, this is referencing all that. One thing we haven't mentioned is how much the WNBA is just everywhere right now with the
Yes.
Caitlin Clark talk. But
Yes.
and Ninth does have a daughter who plays.
Hey,
Yeah, so he's definitely somebody that knows what he's talking about in this realm. So, but
I think he got his own program, the own team.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
okay. So, but he says it's funny to see all this talk about Caitlin Clark going down. But what folks don't understand, the same thing happened to hip hop with the coming of Eminem. You know what MCs around that time were told? Although they were rappers at the time that were really good, quit hating. He's bringing new eyes to the culture and he's getting the bag. Which I always hate is the getting the bag.
In the
But,
bag, yep.
when hip hop made that turn, it's funny how everybody can then and still now be in love with artists with less talent and more visibility.
Outside of M, skill has become less and less important, and appearance and imagery is becoming way more important. Guess what, though? It was shut up, backpacker, and get a bag when this happened to hip hop. Now it's happening to the WNBA. Welcome to the game.
So we lived through this era.
But I don't 100% agree with this.
What do you see that's what do you disagree with? Yeah. I think he on the money.
He's on the money to a certain extent. The thing I don't agree with, so we're talking, Caitlin Clark has, in my personal opinion, has proved herself as a great player and has helped elevate the game of the WNBA. People in hip hop were getting money before Eminem. Eminem was part of it. He came in at a good time, and he came in through a pop door. Because, again, his first single was TRL, My Name Is. That was his first song. So I don't think that people that were in hip-hop necessarily even looked at him as a hip-hop dude initially, unless you were familiar with him in the underground, in the battle circuit and things of that nature. With Caitlin Clark, she's literally been balling for the past 3 or 4 years and made it to the WNBA and has eyes on the WNBA that never cared about it. Again, and that's the comparison. That's the comparison that I agree with.
Me too.
With Eminem and Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
But that's kind of where it stops for me because Caitlin Clark is proving that she deserves where she's at, and people aren't necessarily allowing or appreciating what's going on here. Now, regardless of if there's players that are better than Caitlin Clark or not, there's people that agree with her influence on this game and have been saying it since she was in college. And even though she didn't win a national championship or whatever, people were tuning in to watch these games to see how many double-doubles or triple-doubles or points that Caitlin was going to score. And she was putting the points on the board.
She was.
You know
Still
what I'm
is.
saying? Still is putting the points on the board. I mean, she had a terrible game. Now, they think she had like 3
points.
She getting adjusted. A little rough. She getting adjusted.
But I think this is good for the WNBA. I don't think anybody should be fighting it. If anything, they should be congratulating her or helping her and like getting on her side with this. Because if they all come together and do this, it's going to make it a better. I mean, we can all talk about the great white hype. I mean, because that happens from time to time.
For sure.
Larry Bird was one. Larry Bird proved himself, though, as one of the greats.
Yeah.
So, I mean, time will tell if she's going to prove herself as a great. But that's kind of where it stops for me as far as the comparison with Caitlin Clark and Eminem. Is just there's a lot more eyes on the game versus what it was before.
I don't think Caitlin's done more groundwork.
That's exactly
right. She's put in more groundwork. Eminem justified his hype by becoming like the biggest selling hip hop artist ever. Like numbers wise.
I mean,
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to, but at the same time, it's not like Eminem didn't put the work in, right?
No, I'm not saying he didn't, but I see where he's going in terms, especially what Terry's talking about is where we could see it.
Yeah.
Versus the underground part, right?
Absolutely.
Because we're not about to play him like he didn't grind his way up. We know that part, right? But I see where you're going, Terry. I see where you're going on that in terms of what you slightly don't agree with, but
I mean, literally the masses of America or the world were introduced to Eminem based off My Name Is.
That's what I first heard from him.
And when I heard that song again, I did not rock with it. I'm like, man, who is this dude? It was corny until I actually listened. I got that CD for free because somebody got it and they was like, I don't want this.
Right.
And I listened, I'm like, man,
Dre was attached to him. That's what made me take it a little bit different is because Dr. Dre vouching for, oh boy, it's got to be something on this project somewhere. That's the way I remember it. But to Terry's point,
Caitlin ain't nobody vouched for Caitlin. Caitlin put on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
there's a lot of people out there mad at her. Her peers, the media.
Man, jealousy's a bug.
She is it's a spiral right now. But go ahead, Lon. What you think? Or Jay, I'm sorry, jump in, Jay. What you think about what Knife said?
I see where he's coming from and where it can gain traction just based on the statement. But I always have to say, hey, remember when the Beastie Boys sold like 10 million records in the 80s?
Didn't nobody put up a fight against that, though?
Yeah, I know.
That part.
But also, that brought eyes to hip hop that weren't there before.
Yep,
it did.
Then you can even take it into the 90s, and this is where it kind of blows up.
House of Pain?
No. Hammer. Hammer brought, like, whatever you got, everybody got to say about Hammer brought a lot of people in. A lot of people love hip hop and the biggest underground. You know what their first tape was? Their grandmother got them the Hammer tape for Christmas.
I had it.
You know what I'm saying?
I had it.
Or, you know, if we're even going to talk about, there are a lot of people who are dyed-in-the-wool hip-hop fans, and they came in through Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, to say she, you know, that Eminem, yes, I know what he did as far as bringing eyes to hip-hop, but at that point, hip-hop was already having #1 albums, #1 singles, already at the top of the game.
People already had a bag.
Yeah, so it was already millionaires made by hip-hop. Now, if I was going to compare Caitlin to anybody, then I'd compare him to some of those forerunners, not Eminem. And also, we still have to see, because say Caitlin winds up being a good, not great player in the WNBA, because right now I say she's good, but she's not a great player in the NBA.
No, not
she's
yet.
She's a great college player.
Not yet.
But right now, you know, but also we got to think about the reason why she was the #1 pick and then the Fever had the #1 pick last year is because they're a terrible basketball team.
Yeah.
People are ignoring
And they still
that.
ain't meshing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's still not there. And plus, you got to understand, like, as someone, like I said, a lot of y'all are just showing up to the NBA party and paying any sort of WNBA party, and you're just now realizing that, oh, there's only 12 teams with 12 roster spots.
Right.
And so you've got to understand, these young ladies get in there and bang, because whether you coming from college, you're transfers from somewhere, you're coming from overseas, that's somebody trying to take my job.
Exactly.
And so there's a lot more banging and knocking people down and grabbing them by the shoulders than there is even in the NBA.
And they knocking her around on purpose.
And plus, you know, we
Let's
talking
not turn
about
this into the WNBA chat.
and plus we talking about jobs that don't pay but $60,000-$70,000 a year.
Yeah.
So honestly, if what Caitlin does, her impact winds up maybe 5 years down we see women making, you know, everybody making 6 figures, some making $1 million, because it's brought that much in ticket sales and TV revenue and people buying WNBA League Pass. Okay, then I can give her that certain level of impact of Eminem, or maybe those people that I mentioned that came before Eminem. But like, if we see this, say the Fever don't make the playoffs 3 years in a row, and it winds up being 5,000 and 6,000 people at Gamebridge to watch her play, then we're just going to say, oh yeah, remember that time when everybody was into the WNBA?
Yeah.
I think in the conversation we're leaning more towards his comment about the bag versus the actual response to both of them. To me, that's two different things.
That's not necessarily true, though, again, because people were getting money in hip hop before Eminem came along. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. I'm just saying I feel like he's addressing both. He's talking about the concept of getting a bag, but he's also talking about people's actual reactions to her. Set aside the bag. Just people actually, how people were actually reacting.
Honestly, I don't think the reaction is the same.
No. Because you know what, Eminem, if you've really been following along, like I became an Eminem fan from when I heard him on the Cali Kings mixtape. Then I heard him on the Wake Up Show, Sound Bombing.
I remember
Sound Bombing. And I remember even for the first album, the first single wasn't My Name Is. It's I Just Don't Give a F. I remember them bringing that promo. It was a promo VHS cassette made out of cardboard. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. But Eminem has been the underdog. Caitlin Clark, for all of the times that she's been a part of public life, you know, she was. I remember that.
I wouldn't necessarily say Eminem was the underdog.
That's what I was about to say. I don't agree with
he
that.
had the Dr. Dre cosign from the beginning.
I don't agree with that.
And as soon as My Name Is dropped, he was instantly catapulted into TRL fame.
But the things that I was talking about, that's pre Dr. Dre. There's still albums. There's Eminem albums before Dr. Dre. Yeah, and so like there was time he had to go to Rap Olympics, and he was the dude getting booed, you know, in the underground freestyle ciphers. Like Caitlin, like I remember that LSU Iowa game. Like a lot of people thought they were going to see a coronation, but it was a basketball game.
Yeah,
and LSU won, and that's why people were so disappointed.
But you can kind of compare M's rise to Caitlin's college years, because let's say it took him 4 years to get to Dr. Dre and to end up on MTV.
Well, you can't compare to the college years because she was always in.
He wasn't in the spotlight.
She made it to the championship game twice in a row.
It's not a one-of-one comparison, right? I think we're trying to be too rigid in that, but but in general, I can kind of see the general basis. I really like what you said, Jay, about her being more of a Beastie Boys as opposed to an Eminem. I 100% agree with that because the stage that she has hit, she is, it's way more, again, to your point as well, Terry, hip hop was already getting money by the time Eminem was already out. The Beastie Boys brought a whole new audience on and helped maybe down the line what Caitlin Clark's predecessor is going to be, Or is it? I said
No,
you know what I mean. Like the next person that's going to take it to the next thing, whoever that may be. You know, maybe there's another great white hype. Who knows?
One of them is still playing though. Diana Taurasi.
I didn't know. Again, I'm not a WNBA fan, but I didn't know of Diana Taurasi until all this stuff was going on.
No, I knew about Taurasi. Yeah, I knew about.
And
her.
I know now that she's a beast. You know what I mean, and all that stuff. But like
legend.
But at the same time, like I understand the comparisons. I actually don't really have a lot to say because I agree with what Jay said about that, and I agree with what you guys are saying as well.
Well, you know what? This is where I can compare, because with Caitlin Clark, a lot of you people who have been paying attention to the WNBA this whole time, now that she's here, now you have to deal with everybody who comes with her.
Yes.
And now you got to hear their opinions.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
So
like
that's what I was going to say.
Eminem, he brought a whole bunch of people that you really don't care what they have to say about what's going on in the culture, but you got to listen to them because now they're here. Now the attention is on what's going on.
Yeah, and so that was going to be my other point, and the kind of the difference between like the basketball aspect of this and the hip hop aspect is the cultural aspect behind it is a little bit different. You know, like basketball is generally a thing that everybody does. Now, granted, this is women's basketball, so it is a little bit more, you know, nuanced there, a little bit more niche, if you want to say that. But
it is.
Hip hop culture in itself, though, I think is, I don't want to say it's more protected, and it's there's something in there with the eyes. I feel like you would welcome those eyes that Caitlin Clark brings in general. You would think that you would welcome those eyes, more eyes, so that the players can make more money, because it's a commerce-based industry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas hip-hop is more of a cultural-based thing, to where, like, sure, it's about, you want the artist to be able to make money and all those things, but you also want to be able to keep the integrity of what it is upholds.
Yeah.
And when you bring in those outside people that an Eminem does bring, that a Beastie Boys does bring, that I think has a different type of impact than like a WNBA fan.
No,
we've talked about, to your point, we've talked about that fan base coming over. I agree with you 100%.
The weight that Caitlin has on her shoulders is more so making a way for everybody.
Yeah.
Versus
we'll see.
It's the truth though.
I think it is.
As far as revenue,
it actually has already started lining up that way. She's kind of making a way for everybody, not by herself, but her name holds weight. Whereas in hip hop music, I don't need one person to carry the flag for me to get on, essentially. Because like when Eminem was popping, like Jay-Z said, ain't nobody moving units but M, Pimp, Juice, and us. They all was kind of in that same realm of getting money at the same time, and they was getting money before that.
Yeah.
I see where the similarities are, but
there's definitely similarities.
I don't think it's a crazy comparison like that. And I agree with you too, as far as Caitlin being compared to a Beastie Boys versus Eminem.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, like one of the things, like they're almost playing Caitlin against all these other
It's the media.
players.
Yeah, it's the media
against
and the social media.
But they're doing it.
All
the
these
players are doing it too.
all these black girls and their attitude. They didn't do that with Eminem. It was like the other MCs like, come on in, man, we see you. You know,
some of them.
I mean,
not
we're not
across the
talking
board,
about
though. Not across.
I mean,
not
there was
across the
always
board.
people that had their issues.
I still know people that don't rock with Eminem, but it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Right now, yeah.
But it was like he had so much love. You know, like
I just
the
don't
rap is competitive, just like sports. You know,
Yeah.
I just don't get this dude out of here. He ain't as good as me.
I don't remember. I remember Eminem. Excuse me, the TRL. I remember that. I remember the pop vibes. I remember the Dre cosign. I don't know if I remember the welcoming arms across the board, though. I don't remember that. I remember people being like, "Who's the white boy?
Look, if Dre
who is
is
this?"
It's Dr.
Snoop,
Dre.
If Dre and
Dr. Dre.
Snoop, and when your first major tour is Up in Smoke with Dre, Snoop, Ice Cube,
That's a good look.
That's a damn good look.
And then he signed 50 Cent, who was arguably the most sought after artist before he even dropped anything. Like, he had one of the most anticipated albums since Doggy Style.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
and
I
I
remember
sold
that.
Doggy Style.
Yeah,
In an era where people had CD burners.
exactly.
It was almost like people couldn't really say really anything to him because of
The cosigns?
the cosigns he had around him.
Yeah.
You know,
I
what
just
mean?
knew some people
And
that
he
was like,
could rap
I don't
his
like
ass
that.
off.
But he had
though.
the records. He had the
could rap.
records.
He had the
At that
records,
point,
and
had
you
the
could not
records.
wrap circles around this dude.
No, not at all.
So it was either get down or lay
Get down or lay down. I knew you was going to say that.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's the truth.
Yeah, but this is a very. I mean, I do see the comparisons,
I see it. Yeah, I
But-
see the comparison.
but I think we did a good job of breaking the nuances down.
Shout out to Ninth, though, because Ninth will all...
Spur conversation.
Every once in a while, I'll see him put something up there that makes me go,
And it'll be conspiracy theories that you can't get behind. So.
His personal Facebook page. He's
stupid, man.
he has a lot of these type of conversations that only end up on his Facebook page.
Mhm.
You know, it's a lot of the people that he grew up with and stuff like that, and a lot of basketball stuff. Like he's a huge basketball head. Like
Yeah.
he's a
He be
Duke,
hating
he's a
on
Duke
LeBron.
guy. He's got his daughter that plays and all that stuff. But yeah,
He's
That's
also a professor.
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, like but what I'm getting at is like he is a basketball head.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Oh,
he is-
100%,
like he
yeah.
is- Yeah, he is that.
All right, man. Let's see. Is
You
there...
know, shout out to everyone who's only going to hear the criticisms of Eminem. It's all good.
We don't hate Eminem for
we
the
do
record.
not hate Eminem.
Y'all won't hear that part though, so it doesn't matter.
We got Illa J. Shout out to the late, great Jay Dilla. And he has a very interesting comment about Kanye West as it relates to if Jay Dilla was still living. How Kanye would be perceived, I'm assuming just as a producer, because he does mention the production process. When I saw this video, my initial reaction was, there's some truth in this, but there's also a portion that I don't agree with. So let's run it, and then we can discuss as always.
Like, that's my opinion. I don't think Kanye as big as he is, as my brother stayed alive. I'm sorry. Kanye needs 7 producers. Like, you look at the credits, it's like 20 producers on one track. Because it's a thing to make beats, and then it's a thing to produce. It's like, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, you making some crazy stuff, but like, I mean, we talk a producer, man. Like, Quincy Jones still the GOAT. Like, that's a real music producer. You know what I mean? Like, most people are beat makers, if we being real.
That's
I
interesting.
agree on that.
And I want to preface before we go any further, just in case people don't know who Illa J is, he actually makes really good music.
He
as
sure
well.
does. He sure does.
He's not just Jay Dilla's brother. Like he makes,
I agree.
He makes really good stuff.
Here, I'm gonna come to you, Lone, first from a production standpoint, right? So here's what stood out to me: the mentioning of 7 people being listed,
Yeah.
right? Because we've had this conversation before about who does what and does that matter as we get older.
To me, that is a producer.
Yes. So Jay Dilla, we know the mad scientist that he was, right, as it relates to his process. That's the first thing that stood out to me. The part where he says, I don't know if Kanye would be as big if Jay Dilla was still living. Based off his trajectory and who Kanye was when he was coming up, I don't know if I agree with that. Because he was ascending at a level where I don't care who was out there. Just by his attitude, by his approach, by his grind, the quality of the beats he was making, that just was going to happen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But what do you think about just in general about what he said?
No, I absolutely agree with you. I don't, as much as I respect Illa J, and obviously Dilla is his brother, and he's going to feel a little biased in that manner. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I absolutely agree with you. And I also don't think that Kanye's success would hinder Dilla's. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. So I think that the way that was clipped, it might have taken it out of context a little bit. Maybe kind of put him in a weird light there. But
It's more meat on the bone or whatever.
Give him the benefit of the doubt there. But I think, I don't think. If anything, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think so.
I just can't see it, bro. I just can't see it.
Dilla, and even more specifically when he's talking about the producer aspect, and this is not taking away Dilla as a producer.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Dilla is more of a beat maker than what Kanye West is, as far as making beats.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to say that he's not a producer as well, because he obviously was. He obviously
Great
was,
producer.
right?
Yep.
But Kanye West is more so known, in my opinion, as being a producer curator than a beat maker, especially in his latter part of his career.
Yeah, he definitely evolved into that type of an artist.
Yeah.
As far as bringing people in, because at the beginning it was just Kanye making these beats.
Yeah.
And then as his star ascended, then he started being more focused on maybe the end product and bringing more people in for his own albums. But I don't think he was doing that for people that was like booking him for beats, essentially.
No.
But I mean, Dilla kind of did the same thing with the Soul Aquarians.
Yep.
But it wasn't that's his only style. He was more so, again, everybody heard the story about when he was pretty much on his deathbed. He was banging out beats on the MP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they're two totally different artists in my personal opinion. And again, this kind of goes back to our conversation about M having that Dre cosign. Kanye had the Jay-Z cosign.
Yeah.
So Kanye was going Kanye regardless.
That's what I think.
On top of being the individual that Kanye is.
Which we all know now.
That we all know now. And I just think that was going to happen regardless if Dilla was around or not.
Yeah.
I think Dilla being around would have made the game a little more interesting. But I don't think that one outweighs the other or one takes away from the other or even can be compared to the other.
I don't think they're on they
opinion.
weren't even on the same type of trajectory.
No.
You know, like Dilla was very underground, stayed very underground, and still is very underground. There's still a lot of people that don't know who J Dilla is.
They don't know who Illa J is.
True.
Or I mean, we just played Slum Village. There's a lot of people that don't know who they are.
That's true. Yeah.
True.
You know, but yeah, Kanye was definitely on the trajectory, major label system, you know, being next to the people who are certified hit makers already, which is something that, you know, unless you sought out, if you were like Erykah Badu and sought out, or Common, you know, who sought out and they had built and were friends with Dilla, you know, outside of that.
Tribe.
Yeah, you know, and at this
Dilla
point,
didn't have a Jay-Z beat.
Yeah.
Kanye did before he was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and he was still alive at the time.
Yeah.
So-
And so, yeah, it's a very
Kanye
different.
ain't had no Erykah Badu though.
No, he certainly
And sometimes that
ain't a shot at Dilla though.
No, it's not. But
it's almost
Terry's point is like, what if Dilla may not even wanted to work with Jay. I could see him being like, nah, I'm cool. Not disrespecting Jay, but I'm just saying it's not a necessity.
But you know, maybe
the story was always you had to come to Detroit.
There you go.
You know
there
what I mean?
you go.
So,
you know, but what if it was a different situation? He was still around at that point, and I think he was still. I thought maybe ninth. Maybe ninth doesn't get that placement, and if somebody pulls us in and says Jay-Z, hey, check out Dilla.
So I heard the story that you know, on the Minstrel Show, the joint that has Elzai, the first verse was supposed to be Pooh and Dilla trading verses. I don't know what happened there, but that's what that was allegedly supposed to be.
There's a picture of Dilla holding listening. So there's something there. You know what I'm saying? But that would have been crazy, by the way.
Yeah, but back to what you're saying.
No, I mean, the thing is, Jay-Z went to California to work with Rick Rubin. Now, mind you, it's Rick Rubin. But, you know, who's to say he wouldn't have gone to Detroit if he heard something he liked from Jay Dilla?
He put up in Chicago, which is Detroit adjacent, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and that would have been that would have been a beautiful
you know, it's almost
match.
like the universe of madness that we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, just like the people be like, man, if Aaliyah was still alive, Beyonce wouldn't have. And I was like, calm down.
That's blasphemy.
You know,
Calm
I mean,
down.
but I've heard that argument.
Yeah, I know.
Calm down.
I've heard
y'all.
that argument, but it's
Calm
like,
down.
no, she was on her way. She was going to be, it was going to be her and Aaliyah at the same time.
And shout out to
And
Aaliyah
what if Aaliyah wound up really popping in those movies? Maybe that would have been where she went. Maybe she'd have been in Dreamgirls. You don't know.
It's the same talk when people say, if Biggie was alive, Jay wouldn't have did what he was going to do.
Yeah. Or Pac was alive, you know, DMX or somebody wouldn't have been able to do his thing. You know,
no, I think these people still was going to do what they was going to do.
Certain people were definitely going.
They were just destined.
Kanye's one of those
people. Yeah, like
he's one of those.
Yeah.
And shout out to Lil J for giving Quincy his flowers.
Yeah.
You're damn right. And man, that man is a genius, bro. I'm glad he said that because he was. Come on,
he's him.
Come on, he's him for sure.
Yeah, and I will also give Illa J even more props because to come out of the shadow of Jay Dilla and to kind of create yourself and create your own sound and to be unique and like you
got to give it to him.
He's a really dope artist, and he, you know, when I think of Illa J, I just think of a dope artist, not like Jay Dilla's brother. You know what I mean?
He carved his own lane.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and it's a respectable lane.
Yeah,
it's very respectable.
Makes real good music.
But no, I'm like you said, Lone, he talking about his brother, man. So I get it.
And he rapped in our booth, I think. Didn't he rap in our booth back?
Yeah, I remember when he was here.
I think he did back in the day.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
I must have been here
at the Jazz Kitchen.
Jazz Kitchen, yeah. I forgot that. I actually have that
I got
verse.
them tapes somewhere.
I have the verse actually
on tape
on one of my hard drives. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And Frank
Service.
Yeah, we got a lot of hidden gems somewhere.
Yeah, forgot about that.
I ain't know no better. I think y'all have been impacting the culture in your city
Well,
for a long time.
Depends on who you talk to.
Depends on what type of revisionism.
Man, probably different versions of that story. We'll just say that.
Sometimes you think the streets need you.
Clearly, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. All right, man.
They might always do.
Well, they definitely do, but they ain't gonna say that.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say that. All right, man, that'll do it for this episode. Remember, newoldheads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, sign up for notifications, hit the bell. Don't forget to pick up or check out our Patreon, and also leave us a review, 5 stars, like my man Jay Moore say, or you hating. We really appreciate the support. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Bye.